بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نستأنف أعمال الجلسة إن شاء الله. في البداية أحب أرحب فيكم جميعا وأعتذر على التأخير في بدء الاجتماع، لأن كنا حاسبين أن اللجان راح تأخذ وقت ونبتدي الجلسة الثانية الساعة 12، بس لله الحمد التوافقات كانت جيدة، وهذا كله يعكس على أن احنا اجتمعنا في السنة الماضية اجتماعات مكثفة، هذه كلها أثرت بشكل إيجابي أن كان لا توجد تباينات كثيرة بيننا. فنشكركم على هذا التعاون الكبير. في البداية قبل لا نبتدي أن احنا نناقش اللي هو بيان المنامة، أبي أعطي أول شيء نشكر المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية لقبولهم ترأس اللجنة السياسية، ونعطيهم الكلمة على أساس أنهم يتقدمون بشكل رسمي لرئاسة اللجنة السياسية. تفضلوا.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ومن والاه. في البداية نتوجه لمملكة البحرين بالشكر والتقدير على هذه الاستضافة الطيبة الكريمة، ولا غرابة في ذلك، فالطيب في هذا البلد أصل، فإن خرج فرع فلا غرابة في هذا. فنشكر ثانية لمملكة البحرين، ثم نتوجه بالشكر والتحية والتقدير للأشقاء والأصدقاء على هذه اللفتة الطيبة وعلى إعطائنا وتزكيتنا للجنة السياسية، فنشكرهم على هذه اللفتة الطيبة الكريمة، ونسأل الله أن نسير على خطى واضحة وثابتة التي تخدم المصلحة العامة للأشقاء والأصدقاء. شكرا لكم، بارك الله فيكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
نشكركم، وبهذا صارت جميع اللجان يوجد لها تمثيل. نرجو من الجميع التنسيق مع الأمانة العامة لتنسيق اللي هو الاجتماعات القادمة للجان إن شاء الله، حسب المعهود أنه يكون عندنا اجتماعين قبل الصيف واجتماعين بعد الصيف. فدولة قطر دائما هي تكون الاجتماع الأخير، لأنه هو اجتماع الميزانية، بيكون شهر 12 شهر 9 منكم طاجكستان سبتمبر، طاجكستان بتكون، فهذه بعد الصيف حددت اجتماعات. الآن نرجو من المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية وجمهورية إيران تحديد الاجتماعات قبل الصيف على أساس يتسنى الجميع تنسيق هذه الاجتماعات. أعطي الكلمة لزملائنا من جمهورية باكستان. تفضل. دقيقتين، 2 minutes.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Honorable Chair, respected colleagues, we must speak honestly about inequality both between countries and within the society. The effects of global challenges are not evenly shared. Pakistan contributes less than 1% of global carbon emissions, yet we suffer greatly from climate change. Stronger monsoons, floods, heat waves destroy homes, crops, and infrastructure, pushing millions into poverty. Many people in Pakistan still lack fair access to jobs, finance, technology, and basic services. This reflects a wider global problem where poorer countries face climate damage and financial pressure, while wealthier nations benefit from past industrial growth. Sustainable development must be fair. Climate finance, development funds, and technology must reach those who need them most, not limited by power and politics. As parliamentarians, we must support fair access of climate finance, clean technology sharing, and regional cooperation. Pakistan faces urgent water challenges. Rising temperatures are melting glaciers and causing stronger monsoon floods, while water shortages grow. We must manage water as shared resource, capture and store floodwater, revive traditional water harvesting methods, protect natural reservoirs, and invest in modern purification and reuse systems, such as wastewater recycling models, used successfully in other Asian countries like Singapore. Ethical economic systems, including halal economic principles, remind us that fairness, compassion, and support for those who lack opportunity are essential. Helping people stand on their feet is not charity. It is shared responsibility. The challenges we face, such as poverty, disease, climate pressure, and scarce resources, are shared challenges. No country can solve them alone. They require collective and coordinated action. Asia is a strong and capable continent, rich in natural resources, fertile land, talent, creativity, and history. It lacks nothing. Unity, cooperation, and shared commitment to well-being and equality are what we will make Asia truly great. The Assembly must move beyond discussion to action. The challenges faced by many countries, including Pakistan, are urgent. This summit must deliver clear, practical outcomes and help people escape cycles of poverty and vulnerability. If we act together with purpose and harmony, Asia can, inshallah, achieve its full promise. Thank you.
Thank you. الآن now we will start Manama declaration discussion. We will have we'll say two rules, but we would like to consider these two to work on that. That comments, it will be listened and it will be use them as a comments, and anything will have to make any difference or create problems between countries, we'll avoid to discuss it and we'll remove it from Manama declaration. And after that, if we adopt all the comments and correction, then we will send it to everyone. By Monday, everyone is approved. Then this Manama declaration will be submitted. So we will start, inshallah, and we will try to finish as soon as possible as the other items of our agenda. And your cooperation is there. Thank you. Now I'll give Dr. Kia to start Manama declaration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Well, you have the draft declaration in front of you. As has already been practiced when considering draft resolutions, we will only deal with the paragraphs which have received amendments, views by you. Other paragraphs will stay intact. So let's go to the first page. No comment on the paragraphs containing internal. Thank you, Chairman. Mine is not specific, but a general comment on the structure and the content. Because what we believe is that all the declarations has to be derived from the work of the subcommittees. And I would like to thank all the subcommittees for their tremendous and good work they have done. But more or less, that what I see is that the issues, looking at the draft, it has been overcrowded with the Palestinian issues and the Iran issues, course, we recognize that as very important issues. But I think some of the works which we have done on economic and sustainable development, social and cultural affairs, and political affairs, these are not adequately covered. Even the budget and plan, how we are going to strengthen, and that aspect needs to be covered. And I feel that this part is lacking. More or less, it is more of the issues in the Middle East. As I said, we recognize it, but I think that the work done by the subcommittees has to be adequately recorded in the declarations. It has to be linked. But I don't say much of a linkage to that. And if allowed, I have some comments from my end and some proposition from my end if the committee allows to be submitted for the declaration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a bit too late to ask for the inclusion of comments in the declaration. As Chair has ruled out, we will listen to comments, but no reflection in the text unless there is a specific formulation offered. And this time we give the floor to specific formulations to be presented rather than comments. So with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I would request delegations to refrain from commenting because it will not be reflected in the text unless it is put in a specific formulation. Okay, the comments can be given to the Secretariat in written form, and we would add it to annex it to the final report, but we cannot entertain it here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we continue with page number 2. Now, page number 2, you would see two comments, amendments by Indonesia. Let's pick up the first one. Indonesia wishes to add the phrase within the framework of two-state solution to the preamble paragraph on the third page. You see the third page we have following with interest, political and security developments. Then at the end of the same paragraph, Indonesia wishes to add within the framework of two-state solutions. Now, this part is easy to agree on, and if we agree, we'll take care of this first, and then we'll go to the rest of the paragraph, which has reference to Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit Agreement. Here, Turkey wishes to replace a Peace Summit Agreement with Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration of 2025. If I hear no objection, we will make this replacement, replacing declaration with the Peace Summit Agreement. Okay.
Thank you. This is our comments, and we need to add the fourth country in this statement, because nothing mentioned about the fourth country: Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, and America.
Well, in that paragraph, we don't have any reference to the countries. We only have. I'm reading the paragraph on the second page, which says, following with interest, political and security developments. This is the paragraph which we are dealing with right now. And in that paragraph, there's a proposal by Turkey to replace Summit Agreement of 2025 with Declaration of 2025. We will get to the other paragraph which will refer to different states. So hold on and bear with us. We will get to that.
Because in the statement of the two-state solution, mentioning Saudi Arabia and France. That's why we are asking to add the other country. If you didn't mention any country, that's okay.
There's no mention of it.
Just to delete all the country.
No, we don't have the reference to any countries in this paragraph. We will be dealing with paragraphs which refers to different countries, and we can add more countries, as you mentioned. But this specific country, on the second page, the paragraph starting with following with interest political, it only has two amendments, one by Turkey and one by Indonesia. We will get to the paragraph that we will entertain your wish when we get to that paragraph, which addresses different number of countries. So with these two amendments, Mr. Chairman, the paragraph is ready to be adopted. Okay, so we'll adopt this paragraph following, and then go back to page number 2. At the bottom of the page, Indonesia also has views on the paragraph on second page, starting with expressing. I will read the paragraph, and I will also read what Indonesia wishes to state, and also Russia has also a few remarks there. So, again, I'm reading the amendment by Indonesia because it only adds more information to the text rather than deleting or amending the whole paragraph. And then we will take care of amendment by Russian delegation. So the second page, the paragraph starting with expressing, please look at it, expressing our support. Indonesia introduces in the last part of this paragraph, few phrases, and I would read that. The last part says, and the establishment of their independent state. Indonesia promotes that part by saying, and the establishment of their independence, self-determination, and the establishment of the independent state. So this phrase would be added to the end of paragraph starting with expressing. Now, I'll go to the amendment by Russian delegation. Let's start reading on the third line of this paragraph, which starts with expressing our support for all efforts aimed at building confidence. It continues with achievement of a just and lasting solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in accordance with the principle of international law and relevant international, and here is what has been added by Russian Federation, relevant international legal basis. Right? Okay.
Простите, пожалуйста, я хочу сказать, что если в уважаемой ассамблее будет принята поправка наших коллег из Индонезии, то Россия свою поправку снимет ради экономии времени. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. That is a very good question on the side of the delegation of Russian Federation. We will not deal with the amendments by Russian delegation. We will stick with the Indonesian one that I read, and that covers the interest of the Russian delegation as well. So that the third paragraph containing expressing our support is also adopted. All right, now we get to the next two paragraphs by Azerbaijan, expressing our sincere gratitude to the Million Majesty of the Republic of Azerbaijan for a successful 2-year presidency of APA, and our warm appreciation for the leadership and dedicated efforts in advancing the noble objectives of APA through effective parliamentary diplomacy during this period. I seek your views on such paragraphs, which we might also see in the rest of the declaration. It's up to the chair to decide on the paragraph expressing gratitude to Azerbaijan for the period that has presided over the APA, and also the paragraph following the paragraph, underscoring the importance of parliamentary diplomacy as an effective instrument for dialogue, and then the significance of the 15th APA plenary session. Can I have the views of the the linkage is not quite a sound linkage. These two paragraphs, although we all share the content of it, we appreciate the efforts of Dr. John, but I wonder whether this is a place to put it in the declaration. The chair proposes that on behalf of everyone, the chair would express the thanks and appreciation in his closing statement. So we will take this out and put it in the declaration rather than putting it in the declaration. He would express the sincere gratitude on behalf of all of us. And with your permission, we will do away with these two paragraphs. Any comments?
The how paragraph you will delay?
Yeah, you see, the chair, on behalf of everyone, will refer to these issues in his statement rather than putting it in the declaration because we do not see any relevance with the other articles which are...
Maybe it is not the right place here in the middle. It could be at the end or in the beginning, based on this, and we have this one. Maybe one of these paragraphs, the first one, at the end, but not delayed and not closing remarks. We have some in the executive council remarks too. Please, you can change the place, replacement. But
so the proposal is to transfer these two paragraphs to the end of the preamble section of this declaration, before, in the middle of the fourth page.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to put it in separate paragraph on the final with declaration. Yes, fine.
Okay, so the proposal is to transfer these two paragraphs to the end of the preamble part of the declaration, meaning the middle of the fourth page. Okay? Okay. And now, let us deal with the next paragraph. Iran has proposed this one and the other three paragraphs. To us at the Secretariat, it seems more as a comment rather than specific formulation for a specific paragraph. And so, since the delegation of Iran is not here, with your permission and with the agreement of the House, we will take this one and these two. The chair is being provided with the updated version of declaration because the inputs were coming up to early this morning into the text. So the ones in red, we have 4 paragraphs in red color by Iran. And as I was saying, some of them are in the comments, of the comment nature. You know, they're just expressing their position. So, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, out of these 4 paragraphs, as was ruled out at the beginning, we will take the comments out and we will only stick to the formulation being offered by Iran, and mainly it's a kind of establishing the reservations on key terminologies such as two-state solution. So we would put as a reservation of the Iranian delegation on references being made to two-state solution and so forth and so on. There's no need to include the comments. No, we will. You see, for example, on the fourth page, the first paragraph in red says, at the same time, the Islamic Republic of Iran deems it necessary to declare transparency that support for the declaration must, under no circumstances. These are comments. But whereas the next paragraph, it says, it is hereby explicitly stated that any reference within the text of Manama Declaration to concepts such as two-state solution or references to documents and agreements that entail or imply recognition of the said regime do not constitute the position of the Islamic Republic. Of course, this is the position. They don't give us any wordings for the declaration. So we will register their reservation on two-state solution of the declaration. Any place in the declaration which has a reference to two-state solution by the position of Iran has to be stated as a reservation of Iran's position on this issue. That's all. And then we will do away with the paragraphs in red in page 4. Any views? Okay. Well, we continue. Okay. Then we get to the operative paragraph, operative section of the declaration. Azerbaijan, on the after the second operative paragraph, has offered a paragraph in green color. We highlight Azerbaijan's launch in 2008 of the Baku process on international dialogue as a pioneering initiative. Any comment on that? Again, as I mentioned, this can also be debated whether there is a reference, there is a relation between this paragraph and the Baku Peace Declaration, UNESCO, and UN Alliance of Civilization. Then there is also the next one. We commend the Republic of Azerbaijan for the sustained leadership in championing intercultural dialogue through the organization of numerous high-level international forums. Could we ask, on your behalf, could we ask Dr. Rizwan Nadiev to give us at least one paragraph containing the three green colored paragraph by Azerbaijan? At least we put it in one short paragraph rather than three, because there are different items in order to shorten the declaration. Is it possible that there's one idea? So you give us one paragraph in place of these three?
I am not against. We can combine. But what is important, it is the last one. Recognize the strong international appreciation of Azerbaijan's consistent principle core. It is to combat Islamophobia and xenophobia. It is the third one. Maybe this third will remain as a formulated. Islamophobia is a great problem. Everybody knows this. And we have to voice, to amplify our voice. But two paragraphs, 1 and 2, we can combine. It then depends on your formulation. I am not against.
Thank you very much. The first two paragraphs will be merged into one short paragraph. The third paragraph, Mr. Chairman, we will, as mentioned by Dr. Rizwan Nadiev, we will speak to you.
شكرا سعادة الرئيس. أنا أقترح طبعا بخصوص ما تفضل الإخوان في أذربيجان بوضع المقترح الباراجراف، أن نضم الباراجراف الذي وضع الآن مع الباراجراف الذي وضعوه في في البداية اللي هي expressing our sincere gratitude مع بعض في باراجراف في آخر الإعلان مع بعض، يعني رسمهم مع بعض كباراجراف واحد، لأن الموضوع كله يخص بدور الفعال لجمهورية أذربيجان طبعا وما يتعلق بإنجازاتهم في هذا الصدد. فما رأيكم بهذا الموضوع؟
Then first we will merge paragraph 1 and 2, and then you will then replace at the end of the declaration, but after not in the operative part, in the preamble part.
I think if we can just merge them all together in one paragraph, so it will be the whole paragraph talking about the role of Azerbaijan. And instead of putting it somewhere else and somewhere else, so we mention them all together.
Microphone.
Yeah, colleague, you're right. It is not the right place. Maybe that's after Bahrain experience. There was one paragraph about the experience of Bahrain on the international level. Maybe after this, then we can merge paragraph 1 and 2, and the paragraph 3 after this. It is the right place after Bahrain where your experience is mentioned. It will be done right place.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so the final solution is that we will receive a merged short paragraph replacing the first two paragraphs in green, and the third paragraph on Islamophobia will stay as it is. Okay, thank you very much. Please provide us the merged text so we could put it in the final declaration. Let's go to operative paragraph 3. And there is a proposal by Turkey, and also I believe that China has also views on this paragraph. So let's give the floor to China.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. We believe that it is not appropriate to include references to countries outside of the region in the declaration of the assembly. So we can say, as well as the mediation and the diplomatic efforts undertaken by countries such as the state of Qatar, not necessarily to exhaustively list all the countries. That's our thought. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The point is that references to countries outside the purview of the Asian Assembly, Asian Parliamentary Assembly, is not welcomed by China. The point is that we would use a general term, a generic term, by saying that, and I will read it to you, the first line. It will read as such: if we accept the Chinese intervention, commend international agreements and efforts concerning the Palestinian cause, foremost among them, the countries such as Qatar, as well as the mediation and diplomatic efforts undertaken by, let me try again. Common international agreements and efforts concerning the Palestinian cause, foremost among them, as well as the mediation and diplomatic efforts undertaken by countries such as Qatar, then Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration, and affirm the commitments to the international community. And here we have a second amendment by Turkey, replacing or introducing the declaration of 2025 Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration. So the argument was that we can do away with specific reference to states not being part of Asia, and in place of that, say a general term would say we will countries such as Qatar, member of the APA, and also reference to Sharm el-Sheikh. That will create no problem, I believe. Okay, it's adopted, Mr. Chairman. Let's go to the next paragraph being proposed by Turkey. Okay, this paragraph.
Qatar and Turkey, they are in the ASEAN. If we can add Qatar and Turkey, both they are in ASEAN.
Yes, if we may I? Thank you, dear colleagues. If we count a name of the state, any country, we should say the other country. If we don't want to say any country's name, so just we can mention the Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration of 2025. So if we count Qatar and Turkey, we'll be together. Okay, that's fine. But if we don't count any name of any country, so we just say the Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration of 2025.
So the proposal is either refer to states, Qatar and Turkey, or do not mention the name of the states, but just stick to the declaration, Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration. These two options, correct?
مايكروفون بس شغل مايكروفون.
Sharm el-Sheikh agreement is sponsored by Qatar, Turkey, America, United States, and Egypt. So those four countries are the sponsor of the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement. It's not any country that included in this agreement, sponsored this agreement. Just only to clarify why the names of the countries. Thank you.
So the counter proposal is to refer to the agreement which covers the states rather than mention the agreement and the number of states. Russian proposal.
Уважаемые коллеги, мы высоко ценим усилия Катара и Турции, но с точки зрения международной дипломатии, мне кажется, не совсем правильно в декларации упоминать страны, которые не входят в нашу организацию, то есть Соединенные Штаты и Египет. Поэтому я согласен с турецким коллегой, нам надо просто решить, либо мы упоминаем Катар, Турцию, либо мы упоминаем просто Шарм-эль-Шейхскую декларацию. Но мы неправильно отсылать к странам, которые не являются членами нашей организации. Спасибо.
This is Sharm el-Sheikh, which is supported by Qatar and Turkey, which is representing our Asian countries, without referring that to other countries.
Sorry, Ahmed, because in the other statement for the two-state solution, we just mentioned Saudi Arabia with no France, because France, they are not in Asia. Why we are dealing with the other America and Egypt? Because they are not in Asia. In the other statement, I mean the two-state solution, we mentioned Saudi Arabia and France. Excuse me?
Cyprus.
Sorry. In the international diplomacy, when we refer to some special events, we just announce Istanbul agreement, Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, but we never use the names because we might forget something and just like this show. I don't believe that we must mention any name in the declaration. The countries can make separate statements.
Correct.
Yeah, I totally agree with what mentioned by Turkey. Okay, because Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration of 2025 is concluded, so we don't need to mention name of countries. If you want to go and know the countries, you can go and search and see which countries are contributed in Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration. I think politically it's better to just put it Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration without mentioning name of countries, regardless the countries are in Europe or a different continent or in Asia.
Ahmed, also, I would like to add that in declarations, mainly state the principles. We don't go into too much detail because now we are talking about 8 pages. 8 pages is too long, frankly. Always we go into principles, precise, and we state the principles. Somebody would like to go in details, can write, but now 8 pages. So I think if we elaborate much, we would go to 10 pages and so forth. That minimizes and diminishes the value of the declaration itself.
This is 8 pages because of the comments added. But when we are deleting this comment, we'll come back to 3 to 4 pages.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. So now the prevailing decision is to only refer to Sharm el-Sheikh. Now, agreement or declaration? Please, Turkey wants declaration.
Just very short. I'd like to agree totally with the Bahrain delegate. Let's apply that rule to the rest. So let's all agree that we're not gonna give more details about any agreement and just finalize it with just pointing to the what we all know about it, using and or referring to the name of that agreement.
We do agree on that principle.
Very good. So we will only mention, refer to the agreements, Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, without the naming the states. Now, please also clarify whether we would stick to Sharm el-Sheikh declaration or agreement on this paragraph. Turkey.
The original name is declaration, not an agreement. So let me summarize all of them. The principles are important. So there is no need to say any country's name. We don't need to refer it. Everybody knows which countries are sponsored by this agreement, this declaration. So I think we can finish like this, Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration of 2025. So everybody is, I think, confirm this. Thank you.
I think this is better.
Okay, so in already paragraph 3, there will only be an amendment by Turkey adopted as Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration. We will take out the agreement and also the names of the states in the paragraphs. We continue with the next paragraph, which is also a new paragraph offered by Turkey, welcoming the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2803, and I believe China has an amendment for this paragraph.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. We appreciate the constructive role and the efforts of UN Security Council. However, we suggest it is not necessary to mention specifically the resolution 2803 in this declaration, because this is only part of the story. Because there are so many efforts endeavor from UN. So to be a bit general for the declaration, that's our position. Thanks.
It's true. The correct reference. The correct reference is to refer to all efforts of the UN Security Council, one of them being the resolution 2803. So you, with your permission, the first line would read as such. Welcome the United Nations Security Council's efforts the other way is, as they say, welcome the United Nations Security Council resolutions as an important step forward. A general term of the resolutions rather than specific resolutions. Okay, that is also adopted. Let's continue on page 6. A paragraph in red is offered by Iran. I would refer you to reaffirm the principles of respect for sovereignty, territorial integrity, and non-interference in internal affairs of the states, as enshrined in the Charter of the UN, and emphasize that durable peace, security, and stability in Asia can only be achieved through inclusive regional dialogue, confidence-building measures, and cooperation led by the countries of the region themselves, in accordance with international law and without external intervention or imposition. Yes. I think we agree with this. Bahrain and then Russia. Bahrain. I think we just, number 4, we just put this BIS, we remove it, we start to reaffirm, and then we remove Iran. But I think this is taking into consideration the current affairs of the world, particularly the aggression everywhere of certain great powers. I think this is very important, and we have to keep it. Not only remove the BIS, and then of course demand. So we support this because this is principle. This is, in effect, state that this is principle of international law. So that's important. Thank you very much.
Большое спасибо. Я прошу прощения, господин председатель, вы пропустили российскую поправку в пункте 4. Исходя из общего принципа, о котором мы только что договорились, не упоминать государства, которые не входят в Азиатскую парламентскую ассамблею, предлагаю убрать упоминание Франции, оставляя, соответственно, весь текст без изменений, кроме упоминания Франции. На предыдущей странице, 4-й пункт. Спасибо.
We do agree on that concept, but should not mention any countries.
We will take out the name of French Republic from the text, operative paragraph 4. Very good. And for this, meaning that second 4 is also supported by Bahrain. It's adopted. We continue with the again paragraph by Azerbaijan in green. We welcome and recognize the initialing of the agreed text of the agreement on establishment of peace and interstate relation between the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Republic of Armenia. It was referred as a rule at the beginning of the meeting by chair that we should avoid references to any bilateral issues. Mr. Chairman, we are at your hand to decide on this paragraph and the next paragraph, which deals with the issue of Azerbaijan and Armenia, the interstate bilateral issue.
I think we'll take the important point of this two paragraph and make them smaller.
Mr. Chairman, it's very difficult for us to.
Dear colleagues, dear delegates, it was a problem, 30 years long. I will not explain Azerbaijan territory was under occupation, but everything is past. We have reached peace, stability, peace and stability is established. It is positively formulated. We can formulate again if you don't want in this forum, but we have to write down our welcoming, recognizing peace and stability in the region, which is a solid foundation, and the rest it is about the opening of the communication. Everything is positive here formulated, and everybody knows that's the new efforts. And Armenia is part of this peaceful effort. There is no problem between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and I think it is a positive signal from Manama. We can, based on this foundation, to work together. It is my message.
We do agree on that, but we will give the secretary to do not rewarding, to minimize it, and we will come the peace between the two countries.
Thank you for this consensus. I am ready to work together. After lunch or so, we can do it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody? Okay.
All right, so we will, in place of these two paragraphs, we will incorporate one paragraph addressing the welcoming, the peace agreement reached between Azerbaijan and as short as possible
We do totally agree with that. This is also something very good for our declaration. So don't worry. We'll take care of it.
Okay. Then the paragraph number, operating paragraph number 7, Turkey has introduced an efficient use of water resources. I'm sure that everyone agrees with the efficiency in using water resources. So that is adopted. Now all right, no comment. Let's move on to operating paragraph 7 by Iran, and it says, reaffirm the rejection of the threat or use of force in international relations as a violation of the Charter of the UN, and stress the necessity of resolving disputes exclusively through peaceful means and the rest. I wonder if we're saying the same thing as the 4bis, which is also referring to the principle of respect of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and non-interference in internal affairs. We could either keep both or, right? Keep it. It's a different way.
To merge it, to merge together. Yes, to merge it. 4 and 7, yes. Okay.
So we will merge this paragraph with paragraph 4. This. Very good. So let's, of course, we'll make it short. So let's move on to paragraph 9, and this 9 is on climate change and environmental change by Indonesia. We have also another paragraph like Qatar at the end of the page 8 by climate change. And if you wish, the Secretariat will again merge Russia and the floor.
Russia, please.
Уважаемые коллеги, в связи с тем, что сказали наши уважаемые коллеги из Бахрейна, давайте сократим текст резолюции в части, касающейся предложений Индонезии по климату и по искусственному интеллекту. Я очень ценю вклад Индонезии в это, но это расширяет нашу декларацию и, мне кажется, добавляет не очень существенные вещи, которые могли бы быть проработаны в комитетах, на других площадках. Если вы не будете против, я предлагаю сократить вот две эти части, которые касаются изменения климата и искусственного интеллекта. Спасибо.
I agree with the proposal of our colleagues from Russia. This is an addition that has no meaning exactly really. So I think we can just delete it.
To delete it or to
show the paragraph.
will we have the permission from Indonesian delegation to just do away with these three paragraphs, one dealing with the climate change and the other one dealing with the AI, which falls beyond the purview of the declaration. Just single paragraph referring to AI or single paragraph referring to climate change. It could be addressed in other draft resolutions. China wants the floor. Please.
Yes, we appreciate the efforts from Indonesia to make these two suggestions, but we do believe we don't go too much into the details. I think those issues are important, but don't elaborate too much in the declaration. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So, with the permission of Indonesia, we will take these paragraphs on climate change and AI out of the text of the declaration. There are so much details that one can refer to, which again falls outside the purview of the declaration.
Yep, excuse me. Actually, we're just merging from the past paragraph. Indonesia proposed merging OP9 and OP13 so that the full paragraph will read as follows. Thank you.
Right, the paragraph deals with the climate change. The sentiment of the House is that this issue has already been at least dealt with in APA draft resolutions on climate change and environment. So in this declaration, maybe we would only appreciate your efforts, but we will not make any references to OP9 and OP13. And mind you that OP13 has already been deleted by the original sponsors of the declaration. We don't have OP13 any longer. So your amendment might be a bit out of tune. Can we still insisting on that?
Well, Indonesia accepted the deletion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So these paragraphs on climate change and also AI as proposed by the author of the text are removed. Let us move on to the well, no, we are at the 12. This, the bottom of page 7, underscore, this is paragraph proposed by Iran, underscore the need to strengthen multilateralism in face of unilateralism tendencies with a view to ensuring equitable representation and meaningful participation of all countries, in particular Asian countries, and to promote a more just, balanced, and inclusive global order based on the principles of international law and equality among states that serves the interests of all people. This is new paragraph.
I think we have to omit this because we have talked so much about multilateralism and bilateralism and so forth. So it's not the place is not here. So I really appreciate that our colleagues from Iran proposed it, but it's not here. The place is not here. So we have to delete it. I suggest that we delete it.
The motion is to delete this paragraph, and technically speaking, we need one delegation supporting the motion for the chair to rule out, to rule the deletion of the paragraph. We cannot delete the paragraph for just one favor in favor of deletion. Is anybody else supporting the deletion? If not, we request Bahrain to stick with us and keep.
I do support the proposition made by the.
Sorry, what was that?
It's me.
Okay.
I do support because so much of the issues have been covered on the bilateral issues and multilateral issues. So I support the proposition made by Bahrain.
That paragraph, which was paragraph 12, this is removed. So we go to the. That's it, Mr. Chairman, because the issue of climate change has already been deleted, and also the paragraph offered by the Qataris on climate change, it will also be deleted. So, Mr. Chairman, the job is done, and we'll finish with the Manama declaration.
شكرا سعادة الرئيس. بداية ما تقدم به الوفد الإيراني في موضوع حل الدولتين، العدو الصهيوني حسب القوانين والمواثيق الدولية هو محتل على أرض فلسطين ولا شرعية له، وأذكركم بقرارات المجلس الأمن 242 وقرار 338 وقرار 476 وقرار 2334. نحن اليوم كبرلمانات أتينا من رحم الشعوب ونشكل نبض الشعوب، وبعد 7 أكتوبر أعتقد أن جميع الشعوب العربية والإسلامية وأيضا الشعوب الحرة ترفض إسرائيل بعد انكشاف سردية العدو الصهيوني بشكل جلي، وترفض التطبيع وإقامة العلاقات مع العدو الصهيوني. وعليه أقترح أن تقتصر الفقرة على حق تقرير المصير حسب ميثاق الأمم المتحدة وإقامة الدولة الفلسطينية من البحر إلى النهر، ولن تنعم المنطقة بالسلام إلا بعد إزالة هذا الكيان السرطاني من قلب آسيا. ونؤكد أيضا كما أكدت المواثيق الدولية أن المقاومة على أرض فلسطين هي مقاومة شرعية وقانونية، ونسأل الله لها النصر القريب العاجل وإزاحة هذا العدو الجاثم على قلب هذا الوطن العربي والإسلامي. شكرا سعادة الرئيس.
شكرا. بس أنت أي فقرة اللي تعدل؟
الفقرة التي ذكر فيها حل الدولتين.
ما أي فقرة فيها حل الدولتين كانت؟
ممكن الإشارة إلى رقم الفقرة لو سمحت. في بداية البيان سعادة الرئيس أنا تأخرت في يعني اتخذت هنا يعني هذه
إيران احنا يعني خذينا بس الكلمات اللي فيها الاتفاقيات الدولية ونعيد صياغتها، ما خليناها مثل ما خلوها.
تمام.
اوكي يعني بهذه احنا نعلن ان احنا اتفقنا على اعلان المنامة ان شاء الله، وبيتم تكليف السكرتارية في الأمانة العامة الجمعية البرلمانية الآسيوية أن هي تقوم بالتعديلات اللي تم الاتفاق عليها. قبل ما أتلو البيان الختامي عندي فقط إعلان نبغي نأكد، الحين نرد نأكد ونشكر جميع الدول اللي ترأست اللجان ونطلب يعني تحديد المواعيد. الأمين العام أعطى مقترح بالأشهر نبي نعرضها الآن، فإذا يتم التوافق عليه على أساس يتم العمل فيه. المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية يكون الاستضافة في شهر 5 إذا هذا كان مناسب. جمهورية إيران يكون في شهر 7. طاجكستان تكون في شهر سبتمبر، ودولة قطر تكون في نوفمبر أو يعني بداية ديسمبر يعني حسب المعتاد. فهل احنا يعني نستطيع ان نتفق على هذه التواريخ على اساس يتم الاعداد والتجهيز لها او لا؟ يعني الرجاء ان يتم تاكيدها والتواصل مع الامانه العامه. الاردن بيتكلم؟ اوكي. الحين تاذنوا لي راح القي الكلمه الختاميه قبل انهاء اللي هو جدول الاعمال. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، السيدات والسادة، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. في ختام أعمال جلستنا العامة 16 للجمعية البرلمانية الآسيوية، ونحن نطوي صفحات أيام حافلة بالحوار المسؤول والنقاش العميق والرؤى المتقاطعة حول قضايا إنسانية وحضارية مشتركة، يحدونا شعور صادق بأن ما جمعنا في المنامة كان أكبر من اجتماع برلماني وأعمق من مداولات رسمية. لقد كان لقاء إرادات آسيوية مؤمنة بقيمة الحوار وبقدرة البرلمانات على أن تكون جسور التواصل وتقارب بين رؤى توحد المواقف. لقد أثبتت هذه الجلسة بما شهدته من نقاشات ثرية وتبادل صريح للأفكار أن البرلمانات الآسيوية تمتلك من الحكمة والتنوع والخبرة ما يؤهلها للاطلاع بدور متقدم في ترسيخ ثقافة الحوار بين الحضارات وتعزيز التفاهم بين الشعوب وتحصين مجتمعاتها من خطابات الإقصاء والتطرف والانقسام، ليس بالشعارات بل بالتشريع الرشيد والسياسات المتوازية والدبلوماسية البرلمانية الواعية. زميلاتي وزملائي الأعزاء، إن ما نغادر به هذه القاعة اليوم ليس توصيات مدونة فحسب، بل مسؤولية أخلاقية وسياسية مضاعفة تضع على عاتقنا واجب تحول ما توافقنا عليه إلى ممارسات عملية ومبادرات قابلة للتنفيذ ومواقف برلمانية متسقة تعكس تطلعات شعوبنا إلى الأمن والاستقرار والتنمية والعيش الكريم. وإذا تشرفت مملكة البحرين برئاسة الجمعية البرلمانية الآسيوية للعام الحالي، فإنها تجدد التزامها بأن تكون هذه الرئاسة منصة جامعة وصوتا متوازنا ومسارا مفتوحا أمام كل ما من شأنه تطوير عمل الجمعية وتعزيز فعالية لجانها وتكريس نهج التشاور والتكامل والعمل الجماعي، انطلاقا من إيمان راسخ بأن قوة آسيا تكمن في تنوعها وأن وحدتها تبنى بالحوار والتفاهم وبالتكامل. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، أن التاريخ لا يسجل كثرة الاجتماعات بل يخلد صدق المواقف وعمق الأثر وقدرة القادة والمؤسسات على تحويل التحديات إلى فرص، وأننا على يقين بأن الجمعية البرلمانية الآسيوية بما تمثله من ثقل سياسي وبرلماني قادرة على أن تكون فاعلا مؤثرا في صياغة مستقبل أكثر توازنا وإنسانية لقارتنا إذا ما توحدت الرؤى وتكاملت الجهود وتقدمت المصلحة المشتركة على ما سواها. ختاما، أتوجه إليكم جميعا بجزيل الشكر والتقدير على مشاركتكم الفاعلة وعلى ما أبدمتموه من حرص صادق على إنجاح أعمال هذه الجلسة، على أمل أن تبقى منامة محطة مضيئة في مسار العمل البرلماني الآسيوي ومنطلقا لحوار مستدام وتعاون بناء ومستقبلا يسوده السلام والتفاهم والازدهار لشعوب آسيا كافة. ونحن نختتم أعمال هذه الجلسة نؤكد أن ثقتنا بقدرة مؤسساتنا البرلمانية على التأثير قد ازدادت وتعززت إيمانا بأن الحوار بين الحضارات ليس ترفا فكريا بل التزاما تاريخيا ومسارا ملزم لا يحتمل التأجيل. وفقنا الله جميعا لما فيه خير شعوبنا والسلام والتفاهم والازدهار لآسيا والعالم أجمع. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا جميعا.
Mr. Chairperson, thank you for giving the floor. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As we conclude the 16th plenary of the Asian Parliamentary Assembly, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all, especially those who have contributed to the success of this gathering. 20 years ago, the APA was founded on a clear vision to bring the parliaments of Asia closer together, to promote dialogue over division, and to strengthen parliamentary diplomacy across our diverse continent. Over the past 2 decades, the APA has served as a unique platform for Asian parliamentarians, a platform to exchange ideas, to share experiences, and to pursue institutional cooperation in the service of people. The anniversary is not only a moment of celebration, it is also a moment of reflection and an opportunity for renewal of our hosts. At this important juncture, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the Council of Representatives of the Kingdom of Bahrain, all colleagues there, MPs and the staff, which has assumed the presidency of the AP this year. I thank all colleagues for their warm hospitality and the excellent organization of our 16th plenary, as well as for hosting this event that we had it last night, a cultural event for the 20th anniversary of APA. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to all former presidents and vice presidents of the APA whose dedication and leadership over the past 20 years have contributed greatly to the growth, credibility, and standing of this important parliamentary organization. Last but not least, I extend my thanks to all the executive staff, especially His Excellency Secretary General of the Dr. Muhammad Ibrahim and his team. Excellent job. With a special appreciation for the interpreters whose efforts are vital for the smooth running of the Assembly. Finally, I would like to commend my hardworking colleagues in the APA Secretariat who devoted countless hours over the past weeks to ensure that this session was conducted with the highest standards of excellences. Thank you very much, Excellency. Hope to meet you as soon as possible in our silent meeting of Bureau and also activities of IPU. And I hope that this year, for the first time, we will have a calendar for the activities, as suggested for May, July, September, and inshallah November at the end of the year, the 4 standing committee. If started by Manama, the calendar at minimum, we have a program for our hosts for the first time, and I hope that through this year, by announcement of the decade of intercultural and intercivilizational dialogue in Asia, that is the first initiative in a continent. Yes, universally by UN we had a decade, but the first time from Manama we will have a decade for intercultural and intercivilizational dialogue among the people East, West, North, and South, and Central of Asia. Thank you very much. Hope to meet you again. Thank you.
الحين نعلن انهاء اعمال الجلسه الختاميه للجمعيه البرلمانيه الآسيوية رقم 16 بنجاحها. شكرا جميعا.